Edo State governorship election, sensitive materials arrive Benin City. Distribution to council area follows. Sanity on highways as federal government, Federal Road Safety Corps hints on 24-hour patrol. Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy advocates collective responsibility to unlock hidden treasures. This is a news desk at 3 and we are live on Nta News24 reaching you from Abuja. I'm Comfort Amadu. Good to have you join us. President Bola Tinubu will not attend the 79th United Nations General Assembly session in New York this year. The president has therefore directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to lead Nigeria's delegation to the annual event. In a statement, the presidential advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says President Tinubu, who returned to the country last Sunday after his trip to China and the United Kingdom, wants to focus on domestic issues and address some of the country's challenges, especially after the recent devastating flooding at Onga 79. Vice President Shettima will deliver Nigeria's national statement to the General Assembly, attend important sideline events and hold bilateral meetings. And the high-level general debates with the theme Leaving No One Behind, acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development and human dignity for present and future generations will run from Tuesday, September 24 through Saturday, the 28th of this month. Our reports from Benin says representatives of political parties, INEC and other stakeholders under the watchful eyes of security agencies are sorting the sensitive materials delivered by the Nigerian Air Force this Wednesday, and the materials were inspected this morning before the sorting for distribution to the 18 local government areas of Edo State. The process is going on smoothly without any rancor, according to reports from that area. Now, the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party has directed all its members and supporters in Edo State to get ready for the September 21 governorship election. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, on behalf of the leadership, gave this directive at a media briefing in Abuja, and Timothy Yusuf was there for NTA.
On Saturday, the Edo people.
This media briefing at the national headquarters of the PDP in Abuja is part of last-minute preparations ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State. The PDP leadership has directed its members and supporters to go to their respective polling units to cast their votes and protect them.
Police should be aware of that. INEC should be aware of that the people are saying, we don't want trouble, we want peace.
The party, however, enjoined its members and supporters to also remain calm, law-abiding and vote peacefully. The tide of the election, the PDP emphasized, is to the effect that the party is coasting to victory and the people of Edo State are not ready to accept any result that does not reflect their will as expressed at the ballot. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Security experts say more than 1,400 unmanned international borders is contributing to the proliferation of illegal arms in Nigeria. While discussing ways to address arms proliferation in Nigeria, they were hopeful that the establishment of a national center for the control of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria will help change the narratives. Details with Ekemini Williams.
United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime recently released statistics indicating that Nigeria has 350 million out of estimated 500 million illicit small arms and light weapons in West Africa. The assent of President Bola Tinubu to the bill establishing the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons is therefore considered a major milestone in the fight against the proliferation of illegal arms. Speaking on the program, security experts and analysts endorsed the initiative, but say it may not be the silver bullet for curbing crime, insecurity, and arms proliferation in the country.
In the office of the National Security Advisor, but with the presidential assent, it has been given teeth to act in full executive, in full operational, and in full legal capacity. And in furtherance to that, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Babatunde Kokumo, who is in charge of that agency, has actually made more inroads in the arms control platform.
And given the intensity of conflicts in the African continent, particularly in the Sahel region, the focus has been quite intense in the AU and ECOWAS through several either moratorium or agenda for either the addressing this major challenge of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria.
The security expert said that the Center for the Control of Arms should consider integrating local manufacturers of weapons into the government's stated goal of ensuring that 40% of arms in Nigeria are manufactured locally. They advised the center to employ advocacy and create massive awareness on the arms proliferation while maintaining good interagency cooperation with other security agencies.
Proliferation of small arms and light weapons flourish where there is poor governance and then weak institutions. So all we need is for the government to up its game in providing governance, providing education for the people, eradicating corruption to a manageable level, and then unemployment of the youth to a manageable level, and giving them hope.
Accountability. It is about punishment for bad behavior. It is about collaboration and cooperation. It is about dealing with all what I call the dysfunctionalities: corruption, nepotism, tribalism, religious affiliations, and things that get on the way of meritocracy.
The experts also recommended good governance as the ultimate solution to the problem of arms proliferation. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, Nta News.
In portions of one of its core mandates of mopping up illegal arms and ammunition in the Joint Operations Area, troops of Operation Safe Haven arrested 5 notorious gun runners and recovered arms and ammunition in an intelligence-driven operation carried out in Plateau State. This is the story.
Newsman, the Military Public Information Officer, Operation Safe Haven, Major Stephen Nantip Zamkom, says the operation that lasted from midnight of 16 September 2024 to the early hours of 17 September 2024, Operation Safe Haven Delta Force and Sector 1 troops raided the hideout of a gun runner identified as Mohammed Sani at Naraguta mining area in Bayamini along Bauchi Road in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. During the operation, troops arrested the suspected gun runner and 4 others, as well as recovered weapons and ammunition of different calibers, which include 2 AK-47 rifles, 1 Fabric National automatic rifle, 14 AK-47 magazine, 1 Fabric National magazine, 5,316 rounds of 7.62 mm special, 98 rounds of 7.62 mm NATO, and 43 rounds of 9 mm.
The suspects are undergoing interrogation for useful intelligence to aid in arresting other members of the syndicate, as well as decimating the gun-running supply chain.
Operation Safe Haven commends people of Plateau State for furnishing troops with credible information leading to the arrest of the gun runners and recovery of arms and ammunition, urging them to sustain it to ensure a crime-free society. In Jos, Indenyan and Abajang, Nta News.
In the heart of Borno, where the land meets the floods' fury, a new dawn of hope rises. The federal government, like a steady hand, reaches out through the Ministry of Environment, bearing the lifeblood of relief, human hands and material aid weaved together in a tapestry of resilience, responding to the cries of those swept by the flash floods offering the promise of healing.
The visit of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that of the Honorable Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, for an on-the-spot assessment to Borno State has yielded positive results. The Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, in a press conference, commiserated with victims of the flood.
As a result of the visit by Mr. President and the visit by the Minister, a team consisting representative of the Environmental Health Council of Nigeria, Department of Pollution Control, the Environmental Health Department, Department of Flood, Erosion and Coastal Zone Management, and the National Park Service has been put together and will be heading to Maiduguri to perform several post-flooding services.
The minister said the intervention is necessitated by the worrisome situations of deadly flood-related diseases and health conditions.
Imperative to sound some caution to the people, authorities and stakeholders to be wary of diseases such as diarrhea, cholera that may occur in an epidemic proportion arising from the use of water already contaminated for cooking and drinking.
In furtherance of the ministry's key priorities, the ministry has mobilized technical and material support to the government and people of Borno State to mitigate the negative impact of the flood. The materials include helmets, face masks, life jackets, mosquito nets, and others. In Abuja, Nta Daniels, Nta News.
And as a follow-up, leaders of the Southern Borno were at the Government House, Maiduguri, where they donated 200 million naira to support the government to tackle the disruption to social and economic life brought by the recent flood. Mohammed Goni reports that the State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur led the delegation among other prominent people of the region.
The visitors from Southern Borno are the latest among the teeming visitors that have been trooping to commiserate with the government and people of the state over the recent flood disaster, considered the worst in living memory.
So we came in under the umbrella of Southern Borno to commiserate with the Borno state government, people of Borno in general, about what happened. And we believe such visit is, can unite a lot of people in the state.
Instead of us doing it haphazardly, under his leadership and with all the stakeholders, we facilitated a process where we contributed money. Even now, contributions are still coming in.
Governor Zulum, who was full of praises on the visit by the higher power delegation, was emphatic that it will encourage him and his cabinet at this trying time to navigate the turbulent period.
The peace that we are getting in Borno State, apart from this incentive, is because of our unity in diversity. Let us maintain the status quo. And while peaceable, let us increase our collaboration. Let us increase our unity.
The delegation was also at the Shehu of Borno's palace, where they commiserated with him, having been affected grossly by the flood, and announced a 10 million naira donation to him to cushion the negative effect of the incident. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, Nta News.
Also, 500 victims of the recent devastating floods in Maiduguri have been supported with food items, mosquito nets, blankets, clothing and cash to cope with the harsh circumstances in which they find themselves. The gesture is courtesy of the Quad Foundation, which has deemed it necessary to complement efforts of the federal government and relevant agencies such as NEMA to help those in desperate need of help following the devastation caused by the floods. The founder, Queen Halimat Dejosho, calls on those that are well-to-do to spare a thought for those in such predicaments and lend a helping hand in any capacity that they can.
Several times, why do you run a foundation? Why do people help people? If you're naturally a kind person, you will want to put smile on someone else's faces. Not everybody was born in the kind of background that we were opportune to come from. Some of them are in the villages, some of them does not have hope, you understand, to live life. So if you're opportune and God has blessed you, why can't you put a smile on another person's face? I'm a humanitarian, I'm a philanthropist, and that's what I am born for. And I'll continue to do it.
It's time now for a breather. More stories ahead. Nigeria is poised to unlock the vast potential of its marine resources. A two-day workshop marking a significant step towards achieving this goal has opened in Abuja, with the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, emphasizing the collective mission to harness these resources, diversify the economy and capitalizing on the global surge in deep-sea exploration. More on this with Vivian Izzy Adifi.
As a major oil-producing country with an extensive coastline and inland waterways, Nigeria recognizes the immense potential of its marine resources. The establishment of a full-fledged Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy demonstrates the present administration's commitment to exploring this new frontier.
In the spirit of diversification, presents opportunities for Nigeria to leverage its marine resources, particularly wave and tidal energy, to generate clean energy.
Countries like Norway and Japan have begun crafting regulatory frameworks. Nigeria must take similar steps.
This workshop brings together stakeholders to develop a framework for deep-sea bird activities. Participants acknowledged the relatively uncharted terrain of deep-sea bird activities and the importance of exploring African shelf while prioritizing environmental protection.
As we see the petroleum industry and the marine economy evolve, we can quickly ramp up all the outputs for Nigeria's benefits.
Apart from that as well, fishing and fish stock are out there on the high seas. So if we do not manage the high seas properly, we're going to hurt our economy.
There are those who have the capacity to, explore, and all we need to do is discuss with them, come up with MOUs, and probably share on pro rata basis.
Key objectives at this meeting is capacity building, enhanced expertise in deep-sea exploration and resource management, sustainable exploration, balanced economic growth with environmental protection, regulatory framework, and established guidelines. Vivian Izadifi, Nta News.
Considering the increased use of plastics and its numerous applications, the amount of plastic waste has seen an exponential rise in the last couple of years. It is therefore crucial for plastic producers and manufacturers to manage the collection and processing of the plastic waste they produce, hence the need for extended producer responsibility, EPR. As the agency overseeing policy implementation for the environment, NESRA has moved to ensure implementation of the EPR policy. Mina Daniels was at a stakeholders meeting for draft national guidelines for implementation of the EPR held in Abuja.
The Basel Convention, to which Nigeria is a signatory, was amongst other reasons birthed to protect human health and environment. It is in response to this and other environmental predictions that the federal government, through NESRA and its partners, are determined to chart a new course towards plastic recycling through the Extended Producer Responsibility, EPR, for plastic packaging.
The guidelines we are discussing are not just a regulatory framework. They represent a commitment to sustainable development, environmental stewardship.
Today now, I can tell you that because of the EPR, millions of dollars of investments has been attracted to Nigeria. I have been to quite a number of facilities. We are also supporting some of these facilities.
It is the belief of stakeholders in this room that the EPR on plastic packaging will encourage circular economy approach to addressing plastic waste pollution.
The EPR program is designed to shift the responsibility of waste money from local authorities and taxpayers to producers of plastic packaging.
And at the same time, it creates a platform for transparency in terms of reporting what is done at various levels of the value chain.
NESRA's partners, including World Bank Group, United Nations Environmental Programme, Japanese Embassy in Nairobi, amongst others, promise to support Nigeria industrialize without jeopardizing the environment. In Abuja, Nina Daniels, Nta News.
Court Marshal Federal Road Safety Court Shehu Mohammed has directed commanding officers to engage in round-the-clock operations to curtail road traffic crashes across the country. He disclosed this at a news conference with key players in the road transportation sector. Oyemi Ajayi reports on the call's resolve.
3 major crashes, which claimed 91 lives, have been recorded in the last 1 month. This is total contrast to the Corps' mandate, which is to make the nation's highways safe for users. Consequently, it's engaging these stakeholders to tame the ugly trend.
Sometimes it's not from the garage, it's not from the motor park. But what we intend to do is to realign our patrolmen along the major corridors, along the accident-prone areas, so that we increase our visibility and performance. I think with that, we should be able to also calm down on those overloading and be able to bring those passengers down and let them, have another vehicle to carry them to their destinations.
The Corps attributed causes of the crashes to fatigue, overloading, dangerous driving, mixed loading, night travels, with both parties reaching a compromise.
Most of our drivers are not doing night journey, but there is something with the accident, even though they have already said accidents do not happen, but they are caused. Really is true. And that is the reason why we obey safety rules and regulations.
Talk to our drivers, talk to our conductors. Even sometimes we get some managers to go with the vehicle to monitor exactly what is happening on the road.
The Corps Marshal informed the assemblage that the strict compliance with traffic regulations will sanitize the roads. Oyeyemi Ajayi, Nta News.
The Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs is setting up an advocacy program with the Committee on Mobilization and Sensitization to get Nigerians better informed on diverse policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration with its prospect of reshaping national socio-economic development. Oluseyi Adiago reports.
The Committee of Youth on Mobilization and Sensitization, CYMS, consists of youths from various civil society groups and organizations sensitizing young people on government policies and programs. Following agitations from groups, the CYMS Director General Obinna Nwaka says an intensive citizens' education on efforts of the federal government towards actualizing the renewed hope agenda, particularly the attainment of local government autonomy, a prospect to bring fast developments to the grassroots, has become necessary.
We have so many ministries. What they are doing, people are not known. There are some projects that even the Tedford are doing in the state, in the institutions. Some students are not aware that it's a federal government champion project. So many constituency projects, so many rural infrastructural projects that people are enjoying today. They are not aware that it is the federal government that are doing those things. And whenever there is protest and all those insecurity, people will be channeling their energy on the federal government. But the issue is that they are not doing what. There's no proper sensitization.
Every ministry has a mandate right now. And to track those mandates, to ensure proper delivery of those mandates, Mr. President has carefully set up what he calls the Central Delivery and Coordinating Unit. And their primary function is to track every programs and project of all ministries. And so at the end of every quarter, you have to report what you have done. It's like a scorecard.
He remarked that the consultation is to strengthen the relationship between the CYMS and Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, Nta News.
That's the news. I'm Comfort. I'm Modu. News desk is at 6.